Welcome back to Car Talk. I am Shantanu Lag, your host, and today we are in this beautiful city of Udaipur with India's most fuel-efficient petrol car, the Maruti Suzuki Celerio. Now, since most of you are much familiar with the design of this car and must have seen in the showrooms, the dealerships, and even on the website and YouTube channels, we will start this video by talking about the driving part of this car. Then we will further move on to the design part and all the features also. So make sure that you watch this video till the end and do not forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel. Now with a new platform, the driving dynamics, the road behavior of the all-new Celerio has changed as well. So it has become much lightweight, which makes it much more fun to drive, and also it has become stabler as well. Apart from that, we are currently on the highway and driving the manual version. I am doing 60 kmph. I will press the accelerator to show you how much time does it take to downshift and go ahead. As you could see, it does take a bit of time to downshift in the AMT version. However, if you get the manual one, it's smooth, it's quick, and you control it. Even the AMT gets upshift and downshift to the manual version as well. However, since the CPU is controlling those gear shifts as well, it does take time. Apart from that, we are currently entering the city limits, and the Celerio behavior just changes when you enter the city, and that's because it has got a very good low end which you can use to get through the traffic, and it has got a very good size to get through the traffic as well. And as you can see, we are on a very bad road surface. However, the good amount of ground clearance ensures that the underbody doesn't touches the road surfaces and you stay comfortable as well. So there are no complaints about it. Even though I would have liked this car, the driving position a bit lower to make it more enjoyable. However, Maruti Suzuki has designed a very practical car, as you can see. Now, since you sit higher, you get a very good view of the road as well. Apart from that, the suspension, they have become a bit stiffer. Yes, they help you while taking turns at high speed, but they are not very much comfortable when going over sharp potholes like these one. However, the seats, they are very well cushioned. You get side bolsters, very thick side bolsters, which keeps your body in place even on the baddest roads and even on the longest of your journeys. Now we drove the manual transmission as well, and that's much more fun to drive, and that's simply because it takes much lesser time to transit from one gear to the another. The AMT, it takes some time, but it's much more comfortable, and that affects the fuel efficiency as well. According to the Maruti Suzuki's official figures, the AMT is much more fuel efficient than the manual one. Now, as you have seen in this video, we have been driving under various different conditions, a mix of highways. I have been driving this car spiritedly as well, and since the morning, after a journey of around 76 kilometers, as per the display, the fuel efficiency is 23.2 kmpl, and I would say that's a very good fuel efficiency for a car from this segment. Now, the engine is the main highlight of the whole package of this all-new Maruti Suzuki Celerio. It's a 1-liter K10C engine, which is an all-new engine derived from the same engine of the Baleno RS, which has been discontinued now. It churns out a maximum power of 67 PS or 49 kilowatt, as Maruti Suzuki likes to say, and a peak torque of 89 Newton meters. It's a very peppy engine, it's a fun engine, and at lower ends it has a lot of power, it's a lot of torque. And since the fuel, there are 2 fuel injectors per cylinder, it's a free revving engine, so it really loves to rev, and it sounds good as well. Now, talking about the sound of the engine, the cabin is very well insulated, and even when idling, you can't hear the car from outside, and at times you don't even get to know if the engine is on or off. Now, it is the only car in this segment to get the idle start stop button. You can turn it off and on from the right hand side of the steering wheel, and it works quite well in the traffic as well. Now talking about the exterior design of the all new Celerio and comparing it with the last version, it has changed completely. If someone sees this car without the badges, they will not be able to recognize this. Now the Celerio gets a more rounded design compared to the old boxer design. At the front, to make it more premium, Maruti Suzuki has provided a new grille and a new chrome stripe which runs across it. You will find bits and pieces of designs from the Swift and the Alto as well. Now at the front you get two chunky looking headlamps, and below that a thick black cladding which also encloses the fog lamps. Yes, the design again is very polarizing and you might find it odd at times. Now coming to the side, you get black colored 15-inch alloy wheels for the top end version. A weird part that Maruti Suzuki has done here is replace the pull type handlebars which are more modern with the flap type buns which used to be available with the older cars, and they have also provided request sensor which is positioned on the side very different from the enclosure of the handles, and it does look weird at times. The ORVMs, they get turn indicators integrated to them, and the window line, the glass house, it's quite big as well. However, coming to the end, the C-pillar, you will find a thick black cladding which seems like that Maruti Suzuki was planning to do something with the door handles positioning there. However, they changed it last minute, so that also looks like a cost cutting measure. Now the rear gets similar looking chunky tail lamps just like the headlamps, and you do get the flap type door handle with the odd looking request sensor for the boot lid as well. So the overall design of the Maruti Suzuki Celerio, it grows on you over time and you just start liking it as you keep seeing it and spend more time with the car. Now we are inside the all-new Maruti Suzuki Celerio, and since it is based on a new high-tech platform, the wheelbase size has gone up, and that translates into bigger cabin space. There is more space inside the car for your shoulders, there is more headroom, and there is more legroom in the rear as well. We will talk about that later, but start to talk about the design of this car. It's a no-frill design. Some may like it, some may not. You get a thick groove right here, and above that you get the space for the airbags. Now the airbags, the dual airbags, they are standard across the variants, across the range. In the center you get a very 7-inch display with very thick border lines. Inside it you get the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity as well. Below that there is a cluster of switches which are your hazard lamps and the window switches. So the power buttons of the windows are located in the center and not on the sides. You also get lock unlock button right here. What do you get on the doors? Well, you get the handle, you get a space to keep the bottle, and as a door handle as well. Now coming back to the center, you get a climate control system, but it's not automatic, it's manual. Now there is no rear AC vents, but you get 4 in the front, and the AC, the climate control system, it's very strong, it's very powerful. Now below that you get 2 spaces for your 12-volt socket and also USB and aux. There is a space to keep your phone and 2 cup holders as well. Now since this is an AMT transmission, you get a very funky looking gear lever as well. Behind that there is a handbrake, there is a manual handbrake and a lot of empty spaces which I think Maruti Suzuki could have utilized with an armrest. However, you get power buttons of the rear windows as well in the middle. So there are no power window switches in the rear doors as well, and the driver can operate all the 4s just like in other cars. However, the placements are different. So now let's jump to the rear seats and check out what kind of space it offers. Now the front driver seat is adjusted according to my height. I am 5'10", and as you can see there is still a lot of space for my knees and for my feet as well. On the door you get again the same setup as the front door. You get a lock unlock button, you get this bottle holder and a handle as well. However, the comfort in the rear seats is not so great, and that's because of this non-adjustable headrest. Yes, these are safety features as well, and for taller people like me, your shoulders would hit the headrest, the fixed headrest, and it will create problem when you're traveling through the long distance journeys. However, you do get large windows here and a lot of headroom as well, which compensate for these headrests. But there is a transmission tunnel right in the middle, and also the power buttons are located right here, as I told you before. And there is no armrest as well in the rear. So yes, there are a few cost-cutting measures right here, as we can see. And I forgot to tell you, there are no front adjustable headrests as well. So front headrests are fixed, as well the rear headrests. So there are a few cost-cutting measures that Maruti Suzuki has taken to keep the price low and keep this car a very value for money product. Now you get the door handle and request sensor in the boot as well. You open it to get a bigger 73 liters added space to 313 liters of massive boot space. Now it's a big boot space, however the lip is quite high and the boot itself is quite low, so you might have to do some extra effort to put in your luggage, but the space is good enough for a 4 people's luggage over a weekend. Now coming to the end of the review, I must say that Maruti Suzuki has designed a very value for money, a very practical car. Now the design may seem polarizing to a few, but it grows on you over the time. It drives very well inside the city limit. It drives okay on the highways. So if you are someone who does a lot of commute and wants to save on the fuel bill in a month, then look no further than the all-new Maruti Suzuki Celerio. Now if you really enjoy driving and drive like an enthusiast, do not forget to buy the manual version, but if you want a relaxed drive, the AMT version will do for you. Now that's all we have today about the Maruti Suzuki Celerio. Do let us know in the comment section what did you think about the car and what did you think about this video as well. And as always, do not forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates.